All right, shout out to you guys for taking the time to check out the content. You know how we do it. I'm about to give you that bomb breakdown. Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo, one of my favorite fighters outside of Terence Crawford. Everybody already knows that, but I'm still going to be as unbiased as possible. Welcome to Tough Glove Boxing. I am locked in, and let's get ready to talk about it. What's good, everybody? So September 30th, we got another big mega fight coming up between Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. Man, that's going to be a great fight. Shout out to Jermell Charlo for aiming for greatness, stepping up 2 weight divisions to try to do what few have done, and that's defeat the Mexican Canelo Alvarez. Right now, Canelo Alvarez is undisputed at 168. He's a 4-division world champion. This man is 33 years old, but don't let that fool you because Canelo Alvarez does have the experience of a veteran already, okay? So let's check it out. Canelo Alvarez has double the fights that Jermell Charlo has. He literally has about 63 fights, okay? Jermell Charlo has 37 fights in total. Both of them have a loss. Both of them have a draw. Canelo has 2 draws, I believe, and he has 2 losses. Yeah, okay? And what I want y'all to understand is it took me a long time to do this video. Shout out to John Swanson. He's the one who requested it. He left me a wonderful comment. I appreciate you guys who take the time to leave comments and motivate and encourage me to continue with the content. His name is up top. He requested this video, and I'm a man of my word. Told him I would get it out this week, so here it goes. Just to let you know, I am going to take my time with it. It took me a while. I got a bunch of notes. We're going to be looking at film. So if you want to go the extra mile, show appreciation, you can hit the Cash App, which is to the right of your screen. Okay, and if you can't do that, you can just simply watch a couple commercials because essentially it's the same thing. I truly appreciate it. If you don't want to do none of that, your eyeballs and your time is still good enough for me, and I'm glad you're here. With that said, we're going to break down some of the attributes between Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. Those who know my channel know that Jermell Charlo is one of my 2 favorite boxers today. Terence Crawford is the other one. Jermell Charlo, I've always said, is the other one. I truly believe that's Terence Crawford's 50-50 fight. Okay? Now, does Jermell Charlo beat Canelo Alvarez? That's the question we're here to answer, right? Now, although I'm a Jermell Charlo fan, I'm going to be as unbiased as possible, and I have a feeling nobody on either side is going to be happy with what I have to say, but I'm just going to be honest and give it to you from my perspective, okay? Now, with that said, let's talk about Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez's whole game plan is usually set up around timing and power. The example fight that we're going to be analyzing today is his last fight with John Ryder. Okay, that was the last note he left us on, so that's what we're going to go by. Jermell Charlo's last note was Brian Castano 2, so that's what we're going to go by. Now, when you look at Canelo Alvarez and John Ryder, a lot of people criticize that fight because they felt like he should have got Ryder out of there. But I would argue that if you look at his last 3 fights, Dimitri Bivol, Triple G, and John Ryder, the fighting style and the way in which he fought and game plan in which he applied, has been pretty consistent, right? So we can go with the John Ryder fight just to dissect certain habits of Canelo Alvarez and show his strengths and his weaknesses, okay? Now, Canelo's whole thing, like I said, is set up around timing and power, both of which he has on an elite level. Canelo has some of the best feints that I've seen in boxing, period. We also know that Canelo Alvarez has a granite chin. He's taken solid hits from much bigger guys than Jermell Charlo, and so I'm not expecting Jermell Charlo to knock out Saul Canelo Alvarez. Can he cause some damage to Saul Canelo Alvarez? Yes, if he can close an eye, if he can probably break a nose or bust up a nose, make it a little hard for Canelo to breathe. He's going to have to do something like that, okay, in order to give himself a better chance of outboxing Canelo, because you're going to have to do something to discourage Canelo from just coming forward. If he doesn't respect your power, he's going to walk you down. He's going to take your punches just to land his, and he's going to stop. Okay, so you have to be very careful with that. So Canelo has good timing, good power, some of the best feints in boxing. He has a granite chin. He applies heavy, educated pressure. He's not coming in rock'em sock'em. All right, he's more like a Tim Tszyu. That's why I felt like the Tim Tszyu fight. If Jermell Charlo would have taken that fight and came out on top of that fight, I would have been much more confident in him going into the Canelo fight because Canelo and Tim Tszyu really do have similar styles. Although I don't think Tim Tszyu has the chin that Canelo has, but or he doesn't have the tight defense that Canelo has, but he does have the timing, he does have the power, okay? And he does feint really well. And he knows how to apply heavy educated pressure. But like I said, this is about Canelo, so let's talk about that. Canelo has patience. He does not waste punches. If Canelo throws a punch, he knew where he was going to throw it before he threw it, and he's going to throw it hard, and he's going to want to do damage. Canelo is not really known for touching his opponents and touching just to see what they do. He believes in his power, and his whole game plan usually is to break you down mainly to the body so that he can bring them hands down and start landing those powerful hooks that he likes to get his opponents out of there with. And that's when he starts busting up eyes and breaking noses and doing things like that, because Canelo does have the power to break your nose with one punch, right? We've never seen Jermell Charlo have to fight through something like that, so we don't know if he has the durability to hang in there or 12 rounds with a Canelo, but he's going to have to if he expects to win this fight. Canelo has some of the best defense, right? For somebody who's squared up and doesn't have a lot of footwork, right? His high guard is one of the best since Winky Wrights. Okay? He has an ironclad high guard that's not loose. Okay? Like Brian Castano had a loose high guard. Jermell Charlo was able to punch it through it a lot of times and also find the holes around it. Canelo doesn't move his high guard. He doesn't move his arms. If somebody goes to the body, he doesn't bring his arms down to go to the body. If somebody's going to his head, he doesn't put his arms up like this to go to the head. If you see Canelo with his arms, his high guard all the way raised, and he's leaving his body exposed, he's trying to bait you in so he can counter you. And he will take your body shot to get off his head shot. His guard is more like he moves his whole upper body down with it. Okay? So if there's a body shot, he's not going to expose his face to block the body. He's going to bring his elbows in. His chin is going to be tucked, okay, in between his shoulders. So it's not going to be exposed, okay? And that's how Canelo always uses his high guard. Not to mention, he has some of the best subtle head movements to slip punches and land his counters. He's an elite counter puncher, so he's not going to be afraid to let punches come in close. He's not going to get uncomfortable in the midst of combat. He's comfortable within the combat zone because he's trying to land his punches in between your punches, because Canelo Alvarez believes in his power just that much. Okay, you may not see some of the fancy head movement that you've seen with Austin Trout, right? But he's just subtle enough, and he keeps his head off the line that where you punch, his head is not going to be there by the time your punch gets there. And a lot of times, he's going to come back with the counter. Okay? He also has a great tight horizontal, like I said, defense. He's willing to punch, okay, and hit anywhere he can. If your chin is not exposed, if he can't get a good body shot, he's content hitting you on your arms, and he's going to hit you hard, because what he wants to do is he wants to discourage Jermell Charlo from throwing that jab. So if Jermell Charlo was home, he's not throwing that jab. That works to Canelo's advantage. Or if Jermell Charlo's arms are sore, right? If they're hurting, like he tried to do to Dimitri Bivol, and like I think he did to the Smith guy. Was it John Smith? Hold on. Who was the tall guy that he tore up his was it Caleb Smith? I don't think it was Caleb. I think it was Liam. I think Liam was the tall one. Let me see something right quick. I'm sorry, guys. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Liam. Let me see. Yeah, it was Caleb. Caleb was like 6'3". Okay? And Canelo Alvarez tore his arms out. Okay, he tried to do it to Bivol, but it didn't work. Bivol was too big and durable and able to withstand. We don't know if Jermell Charlo can withstand that. So Jermell Charlo is going to have to fight on the move, which he does very well, and we're going to back that up with film. So Canelo will he just wants to touch your body, and he knows that you're gonna move around, and he's gonna set up. The other thing is that Canelo Alvarez. Now we're gonna talk about some of the problems Canelo Alvarez has, right? Now the other good thing he has right quick is a great jab. He don't have an active jab. He doesn't use it a lot, but when he does, it's fast and explosive. Canelo Alvarez has an explosive style. He's no activity, and then boom, just like Tim Tszyu. No activity, patience, patience, boom. And then he explodes. Okay, so you got to watch that. But the fact is, if Jermell Charlo can get Canelo Alvarez past the ninth round, right, and make him follow him around that ring all the way up until that time, taking punishment, right, and getting hit up with that jab, Canelo Alvarez, number one, is going to run out of steam. Okay, and he's going to get frustrated, and that affects his judgment. Okay, and that's another thing. Like I said, he gets frustrated, and then he starts making bad judgment calls. Now when you get him into the later rounds and you've been out boxing him, and he feels in his mind he's behind, he's going to start taking chances, and those are going to be times that Jermell Charlo can capitalize on. Now there are some things that come into play, right? Like, can Jermell take Canelo's power? Because this whole breakdown and giving Jermell Charlo the benefits that I'm going to give him and show you that he has and the ability, this all depends on if he can handle Canelo Alvarez's punch. Is he durable enough to take a consistent body attack? And I'm not just talking about to the midsection. I'm talking about to the arms, to the shoulders, right, to the chest, right? Because if Canelo can't hit the head, he's content hitting everywhere else. Okay. Can Jermell Charlo take that, right? Can Jermell Charlo have enough power to get Canelo Alvarez's respect? Now, I don't think Jermell Charlo has the power to deter Canelo Alvarez, because if fighters like Dimitri Bivol couldn't stop Canelo Alvarez from coming forward, and fighters like Triple G couldn't stop Canelo Alvarez from coming forward, then I don't think Jermell Charlo is going to be able to stop him from coming forward. But I believe Jermell Charlo can make him pay for that. Okay? Maybe you can close an eye, swell up an eye. If he can target the nose and make it hard for Canelo to breathe, these are things that's going to help him to have an advantage over Canelo Alvarez while they're fighting. Okay? All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at some of what Canelo does well, like I was saying, right? So one of the things we're going to talk about, right? That left to the body shot, right? Look at this guard. John Ryder is trying to get some work, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Let's pause it here for a second. Where's Canelo's chin? Now, he's blocking his body, all right, and his head, not just his face. His high guard, right? This is how he's doing it. He's not doing this to block. He's doing this. Right? Look how tight this is. John Ryder is not going to be able to get anything, and he's going to be throwing hooks, uppercuts. He's in close. He's smothering Canelo's power. So watch what he does. Canelo not bothered at all. Canelo's laying on the ropes, just waiting for an opening. Right? John Ryder got no work done in that sequence. Nothing. That high guard shut down his whole offense, right? So he backs off. Now watch Canelo. Canelo's going to jab. I think he's going to throw two jabs and then throw a right hand and catch Ryder. Now, if you notice, look at his feints. He gets him with a body shot, right? Nice feints. John Ryder tries to push Canelo back. He's trying all his might to force Canelo back. Canelo's not moving. So now, Canelo's weight is distributed on his legs. That's where the power is coming from. A lot of people look at Canelo and look at Charlo and say, well, you know, Charlo is bigger than Canelo. Even though Canelo is not really big for 168, he's acclimated to that weight class. Most of his power is in his legs, which is why he punches so hard. And if you notice the size of his waist, if you look at the Terence Crawford, Errol Spence fight, Terence Crawford had the bigger thighs, right? And also he had the wider waist, and it was solid as a rock, right? So that shows you where his power is distributed. Canelo was shaped like a block almost. okay? Like a little mini brick wall. And as you can see, he feints, he moves in an in and out motion, right? In and out. Head off the line, forward, back, right? Look how he's moving. He's throwing the jab, right? He changes the speed on his jab, boom, right? The first jab he threw was slow, right? Look at this jab. He's gonna throw. See how slow that was. Now watch how quick the next two are. Boom, boom, bow. Okay. Jermell Charlo is gonna have to be wary of that because that's one thing Canelo also does is he changes the speed of his punches, so you can't really time him. It's hard to time him. Okay. But now, so let's talk about some of the things that Jermell Charlo does, and we're gonna go over more Canelo film as well, right? Jermell Charlo and Canelo's style are opposite, but they make for a great fight because Jermell Charlo is great at fighting off the back foot. He's great at counter punching off of the ropes. He's great at punching in between shots and punching off of angles, right? He also has bends at the waist when he moves his head. He don't keep his head on the line. Jermell Charlo does have flaws with his defense, so we're going to go over that because he cannot go into Canelo with the Canelo fight with these flaws, okay? But he does bend at the waist. He does a lot of head movement. He's defensively responsible. Jermell Charlo has great conditioning, which is something that Canelo Alvarez struggles with. If Jermell Charlo can get Canelo Alvarez to round 9, and he's won most of those rounds, if the judging is not funny, because we all know how the judging for Canelo fights are, but if the judging is not funny, then Jermell Charlo just has to avoid getting knocked out because Canelo Alvarez is going to be tired. And when he gets tired, he gets frustrated. And when he gets frustrated, he starts making bad judgment calls. Okay? Now, another thing about Jermell Charlo that we're going to take a look at is he's able to think under fire. Even if he's taking punches, he can be both defensively and offensively minded at the same time, and that's very important when you're fighting somebody like Canelo. The problem with Jermell Charlo is he often loses focus and becomes lax. Okay, every once in a while his feet will get stuck in the sand, and that's going to leave him exposed. A lot of times his bad positioning will leave him exposed, and we're going to show you that in a while. Now, another thing Jermell Charlo has that's going to be a saving grace in his fight against Canelo is he has a great power jab, a great stab jab, and just a great measuring jab. He has a great jab all together. So Canelo is going to want to take that jab away. Canelo's technique for taking away the jab of a taller fighter is to break down their arms. So he's going to be throwing really hard punches to the arm, trying to rupture the bicep, and do things like he did to, who was that guy he fought? That he messed up his bicep. Hold on a second, guys. The tall guy. Caleb Smith. Right? Y'all saw what he did to Caleb Smith's arm. He actually tried to do that to Dimitri Bivol, but it didn't work. Okay? It didn't work with Dimitri Bivol. Another thing about Jermell Charlo that I love, that's going to be very important in this fight, is that he throws 3 and 4 punch combinations. Canelo's output is low but effective, okay? Like Tim Tszyu. Jermell Charlo also has effective combination. He throws 3-4 combinations. He might double up on one punch, but you're usually going to see them coming from different angles. Also, Jermell Charlo is great at fighting off the back foot, catching his opponent with surprise shots off the angle, and we're going to look at a little bit of that as well. So, those are the notes that I took down. I actually have another page, right? Canelo is definitely going to be sharper coming into this fight, okay? Because he hasn't had that much of a layoff as Jermell Charlo, okay? What Jermell Charlo has to do is try to make Canelo follow him so he can lure him into punches, okay? Now, let's not forget, Jermell Charlo has a good jab. He's the same height as Dimitri Bivol. Jermell Charlo is 6 feet, right, with a 73-inch arm reach, which I believe is his arm reach is an inch longer than Dimitri Bivol. So Dimitri Bivol has a 72-inch arm reach, and he's also 6 feet. Now, while Dimitri Bivol is heavier and more durable than Jermell Charlo, well, so far that we think, right? But we've seen Jermell Charlo get hit with some punches, and I don't really like how he reacts to get hit to punches sometimes. But Jermell Charlo has a longer arm reach than Bivol, which means he should be able to control the outside in the center of the ring a lot better than Dimitri Bivol did. Now, Dimitri Bivol picked his fights. A lot of the fight that Dimitri Bivol had with Canelo Alvarez, he was letting Canelo come off on him. He was just staying on the ropes, letting Canelo load up her arm shots and everything because he know he can take it. I don't recommend Jermell Charlo to stay on the ropes and let Canelo gas himself out by punching him on the arms and everything because unlike Dimitri Bivol, he's gonna feel those punches a lot more. And he's not really used to taking punches from guys as big and that hit as hard as Canelo. Okay, you can do all the sparring that you want in the world, but when you get in that ring with those tiny ass gloves, Canelo will tear that body up. He will tear those arms up. Okay, so Jermell Charlo is gonna have to watch out for that. Right? Jermell Charlo also barely feints. He needs to step up his feint game because he's going to want to lure out Canelo's left hook to the body and his straight right hand so he can counter it. If he's not feinting, it's going to be very hard for him to get these punches off on Canelo Alvarez. Now, another thing Jermell Charlo has to do is stay focused the whole entire fight. And the one thing out of all of it, right? Now, also, Jermell Charlo can get sucked into a rock'em sock'em fight. He don't want to stand there and go toe to toe with Canelo Alvarez. He might do it for a minute or two, but he's gonna have to get on his bicycle and circle out of there, stand there enough to land a couple of your punches, let Canelo get off, and you try to slip him like you do. Jermell Charlo usually instead of slipping punches, he tries to go under punches, and for somebody that's 6 feet, he gets under the shorter man's punches surprisingly well, right? And we're gonna see that. Now, we're also going to see Jermell Charlo's kryptonite, right? Canelo's kryptonite is his conditioning in the later rounds, okay, and his low output. Jermell Charlo's main kryptonite is he's subject to the right hand because he keeps his hand too low. While he is defensively responsible, you're going to see him drop his left hand a lot, which is going to leave him open to Canelo's straight right. And that is a problem that Jermell Charlo has consistently had throughout his fights. When he does get caught, it's usually with a straight right hand or a right hook because his left hand is low. Okay? And it's not that Jermell Charlo doesn't have a good chin, because Jermell Charlo has a great chin. But we haven't seen him in the ring with somebody as big as Canelo or who hits as hard as Canelo. If he can take Canelo punch, Jermell Charlo wins this fight. If he can't take Canelo's punch, and he's going to have to resort to fighting off the back foot the majority of the fight, he's going to have to remain focused 100% of the time, or he's going to lose the fight. Now, another thing that I like that Jermell Charlo has going into this fight, Juan Guzman. Shout out to Juan Guzman. Right? This man right here. Oh no, sorry, these are haters. My bad. Let's see, where's that picture of Juan Guzman? I had it somewhere here, y'all. But Charlo is not just here. He is. Charlo is not just this guy in the middle here, right? A former legend of himself, a Dominican boxer, right? Juan Guzman. He's known Charlo for a few years, right? And he's been helping Charlo. He's the one who I give credit for Charlo looking so good in the Brian Castano 2 fight, okay? Derrick James taught him how to sit down on his punches and distribute his power, okay? Now, so far, another benefit that Jermell Charlo's had is he had the three really good trainers that he's learned from. He started out with Ronnie Shields, a legendary trainer, right? And he was known as the boxer between him and his brother, right? Ronnie Shields taught him how to actually box on an elite level. Derrick James taught Jermell Charlo how to sit down on his punches and get these knockouts, right? How not to be scared to engage and how to feel comfortable in the combat zone. And Juan Guzman taught Jermell Charlo how to maneuver around the ring, right? He gave him a bit of a good IQ, how to punch off at angles and how to fight off the back foot. So when you put these three things together, Jermell Charlo is an elite level fighter who deserves a lot more respect than he gets. All right, so now I just want to get into a few of the fighter stats, right? So we got Jermell Charlo fighting out of the orthodox position, 37 fights, 35 wins, 19 knockouts, one defeat, Tony Harrison, right? It was a controversial defeat, um, and one draw. Okay, he is 33 years old, even though it doesn't say his age here. Him and Canelo Alvarez are the same age. Canelo has way more experience because he's been actually pro since he's been 16 years old. He fights orthodox. He's 6 feet tall with a 73-inch arm reach. Okay. He lives in Richmond, Texas, which is actually not too far from me. I'm not. A lot of people don't know. I don't live that far from Jermell Charlo, but he's from Lafayette, Louisiana. Okay, Jermell Charlo at 154 has one of the best resumes that I've seen anybody have at 154. He's fought some really good, solid opponents. Him and Canelo Alvarez also have a common opponent in Austin Trout. Okay, even though Jermell Charlo got to Austin Trout a little later in his career, Canelo had, I believe, an undefeated Austin Trout. Okay, so we're going to give that edge to Canelo. So Canelo definitely has the edge in experience. Canelo Alvarez, right? Let me make sure my time is right. Okay, Canelo Alvarez has what, 63 fights, 59 wins, 39 knockouts, right? And he has 2 losses and 2 draws. So really, he got more knockouts than Jermell Charlo has fights. Okay, so now we can close that. So now we got Brian Castano, right? Who's the fight that we actually looking at. Brian Castano too. He's 5'7.5" with a 67.5 each arm reach. Canelo Alvarez is only about an inch taller at 5'8", and he has a 70-inch arm reach. So his arm reach is longer than Castano. So when Castano was catching Jermell Charlo making those mistakes, right, and those punches that were just whizzing by Jermell Charlo's head, if those punches get launched by Canelo Alvarez, they're going to get there. Now, Dimitri Bivol, 6 feet, 72-inch arm reach, right? Jermell Charlo is the same height with a longer arm reach. He's just not as heavy, right? So the questions always remain, does Jermell Charlo have enough power to keep Canelo Alvarez honest, right? And is he durable enough to take Canelo Alvarez's punches? Because a lot of times Jermell Charlo's best punches come in between the punches of his opponent. So now let's check out some film, right? As y'all can see here, I broke a lot of things down, right? Let's take a look at some of the stuff that Canelo does. We already took a look at his guard, right? So we're going to take a look at... Let me actually use this. All right. So now look at Canelo. Educated pressure. He's walking right it down, going to the body, right? He's not Canelo Alvarez. One thing I like about him is he's not a headhunter. He understands that he likes to break his fighter down. Now, right now, John Ryder already has a busted nose. And that's what I'm saying. That jab from Canelo and those punches from Canelo, mainly those hooks, they break stuff. And Jermell Charlo is going to have to. And now, shout out to John Ryder. He fought the whole fight because his nose was pretty much done since like the second round. And he fought that whole fight. And he started having success when he started using his jab. You can't just walk in on Canelo. See, you see this work. This is good work getting done here by John Ryder. But you see how Canelo's countering? These punches are hurting John Ryder. Did you see that straight right? That straight right is one of Canelo's best punches too. He got the left hook and the straight right. See that? Again, with the straight right. Coming forward. Good body work by John Ryder, but again, not stopping Canelo. Now, this is the 10th round. Now, this is what I mean by Canelo when he gets tired. He's tired right now. Okay, when he gets tired, he's not getting what he wants off, he gets frustrated. For some reason, he just keeps going to that body. He's trying to break John Ryder down, but John Ryder is not falling for it. John Ryder's staying awake. He's taking the body punches. He's not letting Canelo get the headshot that he wants. But this is much later in the fight. Much later in the fight. Earlier in the fight, Canelo was fresh. He was giving him all type of problems. Let's look at the third round. First round. Canelo head movement. You see? Feinting, head movement, right? You don't see much of that in the later round. You just see him walking in, trying to launch the hook. We need to get Canelo to this point with Jermell Charlo. Now, let's take a look at some of Jermell Charlo's stuff. First thing we're going to look at what Jermell Charlo does well. I slowed it down for you guys. So we're going to look at Jermell Charlo countering off the back foot. Okay? Something that he does really well. And see, this is the thing. I want Jermell Charlo to start getting this respect because a lot of people don't give Jermell Charlo credit for the talent that he is in his boxing ring. So hopefully after this video, you'll understand why he's one of my favorite fighters. And I have him as number 4 on the pound for pound list. He really could be top 3 easy, really. Right? But I have him as number 4. Here we go. Nice, good, stiff jab. Remember, Jermell Charlo has dropped Jason Rosario with that same jab. He throws a combination right to the high guard, backs off a little bit. Now watch this. I slowed it down. Watch this. See how he's bouncing? He's going to his left. He's going to go to his right. Then he's going to go to his left. Look at that. Boom. Did y'all see that? Let's look at that again. He's on the move doing this. And this is slowed down. So you can imagine how it would look without being slowed down. See? Boom. That was a beautiful, beautiful counter. Right? Beautiful counter punch. So that's him catching his opponent, right? Off of the back foot angle. Now, here's the thing. This is him attacking the body, keeping his head off the line, and smothering Castano's punches. Now, Castano is a heavy power, he's a heavy pressure fighter, and he has a high output, right? So Jermell Charlo is not going to get this type of output out of Canelo Alvarez. He's going to get a patient Canelo Alvarez. Look at that. Nice body shot. Immediately uppercut, then smothers his opponent, gets under the punch, right? And I think he's going to circle out. Y'all see how he did that? Y'all see how he moves? Now, when his body moves and his head moves at the same time, it's very hard to catch him, right? Now, the problem is when he moves his head and he doesn't move his body, and we're going to show that too. He actually shows he gets under the shorter man's punch and gets a good body shot here as well. Watch this. Hold on, let's look at that again. That was at the one maybe. So I had to space it out, guys. I'm gonna show you him. That's the jab. Well, let's do it in order, right? So we're gonna take a look at this one more time, just to show you. Uppercut, boom. He's gonna need that. Split the guard. Gets under the punch and smothers his opponent. Gets up out of there. Right? Now he has his opponent following him around. He didn't see an opening, so he clinched. Now, let's take a look at this one. Right? This is him using his jab. One of the things about Jermell Charlo, he has a great jab and he uses it the entire fight. You're going to see this jab the entire fight. The only thing I want to see Jermell Charlo do more is change the speed up on your jab, because that's going to make it hard for Canelo Alvarez to time you, and he's going to be hesitant. But that jab is going to keep the pressure fighter at bay. As you can see, he wasn't able to get in at all, right? Jermell Charlo Castano was not able to get in, and this is round three. And these are strong, solid jabs. I just really wish that he would change the speed up on them, right? You don't see Castano just walking in. Castano has to think. Now, I want you to know the brain takes about 20 to 30% of your energy just thinking alone. Okay? So if he can keep Canelo thinking, that will get Canelo drained a lot faster as well. Now, this clip, right? He misses the hook, right? But this is me showing you how responsible he is. He doesn't, a lot of times when Errol Spence misses, he's lunging in. So he's subject to the counter. But look at the difference. This is why I say Jermell Charlo is the best fighter in that camp. Look at how Jermell Charlo even misses, right? I like when he clinches to slow down. When he doesn't like the action on the inside, he clinches to get that space. Let the referee do his job. Now watch this. Y'all saw that? Let me show y'all that again, because we're going to pause it. Hold on, let me show y'all that again. I thought I did that one in slow motion, but maybe I didn't. But I don't have to do this in slow motion to show you what I need you to see. Watch this. Jermell Charlo is going to miss, but I'm going to show you the difference between when he misses and when Errol Spence misses. And this is a good thing for in case he's fighting Canelo. Now, y'all saw that? He missed. But where is his head? Boom, boom. It's not over here. He didn't lunge for it. He threw a tight hook. It missed. He's still in a position to pull back, okay, and get up out of there. Or if he want, even come back with the right hook. Well, no, he's not in a position to throw the right hook, but he can definitely, circle back out of there and throw a left jab if he wanted to. See, he don't like what's going on. He clinches. He's gonna have to definitely practice his clinching. Now, here's another beautiful sequence by Jermell Charlo, right? Now, I'm just showing you what Jermell Charlo does right, and you're going to see more of Jermell Charlo's film because the burden of proof is on him. I'm not being unfair to Canelo. The film that I showed you on Canelo, that's exactly how he's going to fight Jermell Charlo the whole fight. Double jab, right to the body. Yeah, saw that? Let's rewind that and watch it again. This is why that jab is going to be so important to set up punches, right? Double jab, right to the body. And then he changes levels on the jab, right? I mean, he throws another jab to stop Castano from walking in. All right, here we go. More good defense and a steady jab. He's going to need this for Canelo. These are the things that he does good. I'm going to show you why Canelo stops him if he gets stopped. Y'all see that? Good head movement. He bends. He's not done slipping. Steps out of range, steps back. He's patient. He's waiting for his opportunity. You see what I'm saying? So Jermell Charlo has great defense. He knows how to move on the ropes, off the ropes, right? He even knows how to use the ropes to his advantage. I've seen him like Terence Crawford when he hit Errol Spence with that uppercut, the first or second knockdown. Jermell Charlo throws punches like that. Now, this is another example of Jermell Charlo's IQ, right? He's gonna maneuver Castano's head. Look, pushes it, boom. Did y'all see that? Let's go back a little bit. Good uppercut. Hold on, let me see. Where I'm at, where I'm at. Okay. Did y'all see that? He's clinching, right? uses the ropes to push Castano back, and then comes with a right hook. Now he missed that right hook, but again, he did not lunge forward, so he wasn't punished for it. Look, push his head to the line, bow, catches him. Beautiful. I don't know if he's going to be able to push Canelo around and set it like that, but if he can, you know, this is him. I think with a tight hook, missing correctly. I think I showed y'all this already. Oh no, y'all didn't see this one. See that tight hook? But he didn't lunge forward. He didn't throw a wide, wild hook. It was nice and tight. If Castano was in range, and the thing about it is Canelo is not going to give Charlo that much respect. He will be closer. Okay? But the thing about Canelo is he can feint that move out and then punish Jermell Charlo if he takes the bait. Now, this is an example of what happens when Jermell Charlo does use the feint, which he barely does. This one of the first feints of the fight. See? Now, when he did that, if you notice, Castano stopped coming forward. Let's take a look at that again. Castano stops, and then now he's going to launch his attack out of range, giving Jermell Charlo the opportunity to counter. Now, remember when Terence Crawford dropped Errol Spence the first time, right, with the 2-1? This is Jermell Charlo essentially doing the same thing, but he's doing a 3-punch combination. He's going to do jab, boom, and then lunge. The third punch that he lunged in with, he didn't really lunge, but he jumped into it because he saw that Castano was off balance. Watch this again. This is IQ, right? Castano didn't expect that third punch because he thought that he was out of range, but Charlo jumped into the last punch. Yo, boom. That same punch dropped Errol Spence. Now, when Terence Crawford did it, I'm telling y'all, Jermell Charlo, he be thinking in that ring. Jermell Charlo deserves a lot more respect than y'all give. Now, this is what happens when opponents stand their ground, right? And this is what I don't want him to get into with Canelo Alvarez. Good jab to the body. Good right? Good body shot. But this is how he can get lured into an attack, right? Good. Jermell Charlo definitely got the best of this exchange. See those combination punches? 1, 2, 3 punch combinations. See how he got under that? He got under that short punch, ducked to the body. Now this is him moving his head off the line and his body at the same time. Okay? That's the correct way. I'm going to show you when he just moves his head without moving his body. Right? But this is what happens when he gets under the shorter man's punch. Watch this. Digs to the body and circles up out of there. Okay, so far we're showing you things that Jermell Charlo can do, and the reason why you're seeing so much Jermell Charlo attributes, right, as opposed to Canelo attributes, is because Canelo has a rinse and repeat style. You've seen it, like I said, in the last 3 fights. It's just simply not a whole lot to show. He has a very simple, efficient style. He comes forward with effective pressure. He has a good chin. He relies on his timing and his power to get the stoppage throughout the fight. And a lot of times he can still outbox you, right? Even if the other opponent outlands him, he can land a lot of the more effective punches. Now with the John Ryder fight, John Ryder did get outboxed. Okay, he gave Canelo a harder time than we expected him to. He just proved to be a little tougher, but Canelo did land the more effective punches, and he was able to neutralize a lot of what John Ryder was trying to do. So when it comes to Jermell Charlo, there's just a whole lot to show. More to show is what I mean. And it's the same thing when I did the Errol Spence and Terence Crawford breakdown, right? It's not a whole lot that you need to show from Errol Spence because his style is pretty straightforward. So when it comes to Terence Crawford, his style is a little more complex, just like Jermell Charlo. So we almost there. We almost at the end. I told you guys this was going to be a long video, but I wanted to give you 100%, you know, proof of why I feel the way that I feel. Okay, I don't feel Jermell Charlo has a 0% chance. However, I'm going to show you some of the things that I feel is going to really work against him, and that's coming up very soon. Let's just take a look at some more Jermell's IQ right quick. I'm sorry about that. Let's go ahead and bring this down. Okay. All right, let's go. So now this sequence, you see Jermell, he's on his back foot, right? He's moving while he's on his back foot. You're going to see him throw, I think it's a right hook, right as he's moving to his left, which was a great punch because Castano didn't see it coming. But just goes to show you, even while he's backing up and moving off the ropes, Jermell Charlo is a thinking man. He's a chess player when he's in the boxing ring. It's just sometimes he can get caught up in moments where he starts playing spades during the chess game. So I hope you understand that acronym. Let's go. Boom. Did y'all see that? Let's rewind that back again. Catching him, finding an opening, and catching him while he's on the move. Boom. Right? Y'all saw him catch Castano. Now, let's go ahead and show you, right, how he can counter off the ropes. But this is going to be very important for the Canelo Alvarez fight. Okay? Let's go. You see him? Watch the. Hold on, I'm sorry, guys. Okay? This is him off the ropes again. Castano got him back, gonna have him backed up to the ropes. All right. So he's comfortable in the combat zone, right? He don't want to sit on the ropes like that with Canelo. Here we go. We're gonna show you the effectiveness of the stiff jab, and then when you see Jermell Charlo starting to hit you with that 1-2, here's the stiff jab coming up, stops Castano, boom, right? That's that power jab that Crawford was stopping Spence with all night long. Let's take a look at it. Told y'all Jermell Charlo has some of the same attributes. Here we go again. Boom. You see that? Now watch this, the 1-2. When you see Jermell start unleashing that 1-2, because up until this ninth round, he wasn't throwing it. When he starts throwing that 1-2, that means he's sitting down on his shots and he's ready to stop his opponent. Okay? He got his range. He understands the power of his opponent. He's got his opponent figured out. And so now he's going to start stepping on the gas. And that actually led to the next round being this sequence here. All right? I know y'all missed that. Let me show y'all that again. Hold on a second. I went back way too far. All right? You got to keep your eyes on it because it's quick. Boom, body shot, right hook. Brian Castano crumbles. And then you're going to see Jermell Charlo is a really good finisher. Right? Castano don't know where he at. The uppercuts, right? To the body. Canelo's going to have to watch out for those uppercuts to the body. Now, let's show you. Now, I just showed you a lot of the attributes that Jermell Charlo had, right? We know what Canelo's style looks like, but a lot of people are counting Jermell Charlo out. I, for one, like I said, I'm a Jermell Charlo fan. I'm rooting for him to win. I don't think he's going to beat Canelo. And here's why. Now, if he does win, everybody run into my channel to, oh, I told you, it's okay if I'm wrong on this one because I want to be wrong on this one. But my problem with Jermell Charlo is his lack of focus, and the one thing that I think Canelo is going to capitalize on, and this is one of the things that I see that Team Crawford sees in Charlo as far as it goes with him making mistakes. And so we're going to go ahead. Now, out of everything that I showed you, right, that was good from Jermell Charlo, here are the issues that I have with Jermell Charlo, right? He keeps he's exposed to his opponent's right hand. He keeps his left hand low the majority of the fight and occasionally has both arms down. Sometimes he loses focus and he leaves himself wide open. Here's some examples. See where his hands are? Look where his hands are. You can't do that with Canelo, right? Y'all see that? Right hand. He gets caught with the right hand, right? He clinches. Now he felt that one. Let's go take a look at it again. Hands down, right? Left hand all the way down. Look where that left hand is. An off-time shot, boom, got him, right? He gets caught. Sometimes he starts bouncing, right? And he gets time on one of his bounces. Here we go. If Brian Castano can time him, I'm sure Canelo is definitely going to time him. Let's check it out. See how he's bouncing up and down? Boom. Did y'all see that? Just that quick. Castano caught him with a straight left as he was coming down. Let's look at that again. Ready? Jumping up, down, up, down. Boom. Got caught. Right? As he was coming down. Okay? Now watch this. Wait, I think that was the sequel. Oh no. After he gets caught, he starts moving around and then he clinches. He's not seeing an opening. So don't be surprised if you see Jermell Charlo clinching a lot in the Canelo fight. Now that was another good movement by good defense by Jermell Charlo, but you can see there's nothing really available for him, so he pushes Castano back. He's not going to be able to push Canelo back like that. All right, it's one thing to clinch, but it's one thing to clinch and need to push you back. Now, when he gets caught moving, this is, remember I told y'all sometime he'll move his head without moving his body, right? Let me show you. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Okay, look, but y'all remember when I showed y'all how he moves his head as he moves diagonally, he moves his body too, and he kind of leans out of there, right? This is what happens when he doesn't move his body, but he moves his head. Y'all saw that? Watch this. All right, he gets a nice body shot in there. He gets a nice body shot in there. So he wants to land another punch because he thinks Castano is out of position. But look what happens. See, he moves, he's going to move his head, his body still right there within range. Boom. See, now he didn't slide, he didn't dip his body, lean his body as he moved his head like he usually does. And he ended up getting caught. Catches Castano with a jab. Now here's where Canelo would have knocked him out. Let me show y'all something. Let's see if it's in the sequence here. Yeah, it was here. Watch this. See, he's waiting. This is a mistake. Even when it's regular speed, him waiting like this is a mistake. Let me show you what it does. Okay, it's coming, guys. It's coming. He's just waiting, waiting, waiting. 3, 4 seconds done went by. And look, he's just standing there in the corner. Canelo will catch him if he does that. Now watch this. He tries to jab, right? Then he throws the right hand. He got baited. The only problem is Castano did not make him pay. Castano didn't make him pay for that. And watch what position he ends up in. See? Castano baited him. Castano baited out the jab. He throws the right hook. And Castano, right, slips it. Now watch the position that Charlo was in after that. I didn't get to stop it in time. Watch this. Look at that. Okay, let's go back. Look at this position he's in now. Everything is open: head, eyes, nose, mouth, body. Let's do this again, right? He's waiting, waiting. Throws a jab, gets right. Castano's getting back in position. Sorry, it cut off right there, but that's just right here. Now, Castano, if he's Canelo, there's a straight right coming. There's a straight right hand coming that might put him on his ass. Hand all the way up here. Hand all the way down here. I just showed y'all, right? I just showed y'all. First of all, his mistake was waiting in the corner. Right now, he's going to get baited. Feint, slip. Jermell Charlo, you can't do that. There's a straight right hand. Look at the position that Castano is in. But Castano is just looking at him and doesn't do anything with it. So he escapes that. Okay? Here's another thing. I told you that right hand is the issue. This is him getting hit with another right hand. Y'all see that? Hands low. Now you don't see that with Canelo. You see Canelo very disciplined, always hands high. Now that was a good exchange. He did lose that exchange, right? Another thing, if he gets pushed backwards, right? Canelo's gonna apply the pressure. If Jermell Charlo is not moving backwards but getting pushed backward, he usually loses every exchange that he gets pushed backwards. I noticed that in a lot of his fights. Listen, look at this. He's going to get pushed backwards, and this is going to be important if he wants to fight Canelo off the clinch. Look, he's going to get pushed. Look where he's off balance, right? Castano already sees that he's off balance. Look at Jermell Charlo's feet, right? Look at Jermell Charlo's body. Watch this. Boom. Look at this again, man. Now, see, he's going to get pushed. Boom. He can't let Canelo push him back like that. That was a beautiful setup by Castano as well. And you see Jermell Charlo smiling because he know he got hit by that one. Now he's on his bicycle. Okay? Again, here's another right hand. Problem? Look where his hands are. Okay? So he goes in for the clinch when he gets hit. And my thing is, that's fine, right? But those punches, those right hands coming from Canelo is going to be different. And that's why I feel like the combination of Jermell Charlo being so inactive, right? That's going to give Canelo Alvarez enough time to try to break him down. We don't know how well he can take Canelo's punch yet, and we don't know how well Canelo can take his punch. I mean, we can pretty much guess from Canelo's past opponents that if he's taking punches from Triple G, Bivol, you know, I'll be honest with you, Caleb. I think Canelo looks at Jermell Charlo as possibly another Caleb Plant, right? And we all saw him stop Caleb Plant. Now the question is Canelo still right out there stopping people like he used to be? Because the last stoppage that Canelo got, right, was against Caleb Plant. right? And that was in 2000. That was in 2021. So he hasn't had a stoppage in about 2 years. Okay, but I'm pretty sure, Caleb Plant was boxing Canelo's head off pretty much the whole time, right? But he didn't have the power to keep Canelo off of him. So can we just automatically assume that Jermell Charlo has more power than Caleb Plant? I don't think we can just automatically assume that, right? And so, as much as I want Jermell Charlo to win, and I hope I'm wrong about this prediction, well, it's not even a prediction because I want Jermell Charlo to win, but I just think that it's an uphill battle for him due to the inactivity. He's not going to be that sharp, right? Due to the fact that he keeps his hands down. He does pretty much everything else really well. If he can tighten up he has good head movement, good body movement, good upper body bending at the waist, all of that. But if he can't keep his hands protecting his chin for the majority of the fight, and if he loses focus, understand that Canelo is waiting on that opportunity because he knows that he pretty much can't beat Jermell Charlo in the footwork. He knows Jermell Charlo is going to come with the jab, so the first thing he's going to do is try to discourage the jab, either by hurting Jermell Charlo's arms, right, punching the arms, or more commonly what Jermell Charlo opponents like to do when they want to take away the jab is throw the right hand over his jab and catch him like that because he keeps his left hand so low. So anyway, hopefully that wasn't too unbiased for you guys. I mean, that wasn't too biased for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. I hope I was detailed in the breakdown, showing you specifically things that I see Jermell Charlo do good, but things that I also see that's going to cost him this fight if he doesn't fix it before the fight. I will say one thing. The fact that Derrick James wasn't his primary trainer for this camp is a good thing. I think Juan Guzman may have been the primary trainer because Derrick James was busy with the Spence fight. Then he had the AJ fight right after the Spence fight. So I don't see him being Jermell Charlo's primary trainer, and I don't think he should be Jermell Charlo's primary trainer for this specific fight, regardless whether he's the one in the corner or not. Derrick James like to take all the credit. I heard him accusing Bomac of needing help in one of the press conferences. Meanwhile, he's not telling nobody that Juan Guzman actually helped Jermell Charlo win the rematch with Brian Castano. And further than that, most of the tools that Jermell Charlo had, Ronnie Shields put in there. Derrick James just taught him how to sit down on his power, which is the same thing he's doing with Frank Martin, right? Frank Martin pretty much went to Derrick James already having footwork, already having the athleticism. So all Derrick James had to do was pretty much, teach him how to sit down more on his punches so he can hit harder. But other than that, I don't see anything that he added on to Frank James. All right. So I would say that Jermell Charlo not having Derrick James as the primary trainer will help him. However, it is an uphill battle for him against Canelo. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. All right. Took a while, but I hope I gave you what you wanted. Locked in. Tough Glove Boxing. Out.
You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell up out of here.